Good morning, I am Adam Harris, and this is The Day Ahead.
Go ahead and click subscribe below to receive daily market analysis videos and important alerts. On the economic calendar for today, we have the US FOMC interest rates and monetary policy news at 7 p.m. this evening. In currencies, many of the charts show some strengthening over the US dollar so far. Then in commodities, the metals and the oils inch higher with that slightly weaker US dollar. The global indices and equities continue to be quiet during a big news week. You can jump to any chapter by clicking on the time link in the description below. Having a look at currencies first, and starting off with the US dollar index, really a lot of the eyes on the market are going to be watching out for this evening's FOMC statement, likely to add increased volatility into the markets. Even though an interest rate change is not anticipated, it's really going to be focused on the economic policy as well, monetary policy and expectations for growth in the near future. So also looking here at euro dollar, it's pretty much at that resistance level, which makes sense. There's a potential little bit of room for it to climb up. When I say it makes sense, it's likely to be there when the news comes out. So I'm just going to exercise some extra caution in the run up to that news. And just talking here about cable as well. Again, here's that 1300 level. I'd really like, it would have been very nice to see price head down to connect to this level, and maybe that will happen as a result of FOMC. Alternatively, it is actually in the right area here to start to produce a bullish candle. So this makes sense as part of the trading plan. I'm looking for that small bullish candle and looking for price to start to head on higher to resume that uptrend, unless there's going to be an unexpected shift in the trend with the US dollar index that might impact that. Then just commenting on euro kiwi, it's back up. It's still here producing its bearish candle. This may well be my re-entry to the downside, my swing trading opportunity there. Pound yen as well as kiwi yen, just showing you here, I'm looking for that move to the upside. So pound yen is pulled back into the moving averages. This is likely to be ideally today or tomorrow to be that. Very similar to cable itself against the US dollar. Looking for that to be the case. Kiwi yen certainly looks good on this side, still offering support signals here. I'm looking to see what I'm looking for is a break of the high of this, and looking for that to be a confirmation to continue onwards. And just showing Aussie dollar, which I've been waiting for this to turn around, which does actually imply a weaker US dollar. Looking for Aussie dollar to head up towards 0.7300, certainly in the near future. This now looking nice and bullish and expecting a longer term change in trend there. In the commodities, lots of interesting stuff happening here. Gold comfortably pushing its way through this resistance level. The candle is currently still open, so we'll see, but it looks as though it's pretty much set its sights on heading up to that next very significant resistance level. Ultimately, the longer term expectation is most likely for gold to break out of this year. However, for the moment, it looks as though shorter term goal is to head straight to 1350 without taking a breather, and so we'll see how that goes. We're not going to get that weekly retracement. This can essentially might as well just go. Now looking for this to head on up. Alternatively, it'll potentially pull back into this level of support between 1300 and 1310. Looking for an area there down the line, but for the moment it looks as though it's going to surge towards that, looking nice and bullish. Silver itself also looking quite strong and bullish, starting to push through its resistance level. This has been the weaker of the two, but it looks good. Retracement there on the weekly starting to head higher. Silver looking slightly, that retracement looking healthier of the two, so that's okay. Palladium setting up with a bullish signal from yesterday, and so I'm looking for a swing low, potential swing low today off this, looking quite nice there. So that's looking good, especially when we break this previous high. We'll then have a confirmed uptrend. Crude oil is also now looking bullish again, so although it produced a bearish candle and broke the low of it. Bearish candle last week and broke the low of it this week so far. It's now pushing back up to its resistance level and producing this through higher lows. So this now also indicating the potential for a weaker US dollar. I'm just finding that interesting. Gold's showing potential weaker US dollar, oil showing a potential weaker US dollar, Australian dollar showing a potential weaker US dollar. And if we do get a strong day on cable today, we're looking at that potential weaker US dollar. So there's a lot of signs that it isn't just going to be about the US dollar at the moment. It looks as though that's going to push back. Nice bullish candle there on UK crude oil as well. So all of these now looking as though they're shifting into heavily bullish mode. And with the global indices as well, so this also showing that potential consolidation side is looking nice and bullish. So we've got another bullish candle today, and this little area I can extend that. This now looking as though it's looking to either consolidate before breaking out, and then heading up to that next level. This is the same across the board, pretty much there. And this also implying that potential for that weaker US dollar. If we do get a stronger move here, that also will be supported by that weaker US dollar. Then having a look, comparing that as we leave the US, it's very much the same with the other US indices. If we have a look at this, just showing here in the UK, also a bit of a signs of bullishness, even though we had a bearish candle and broke the low. Similar to oils, it's looking as though there might be an attempt to change the trend, which is fine. Obviously, this happens, and we're still largely in most of a bull market, although it's been bearish just most of December. We might well see that change there. And this also looking the same, especially as we head towards Asia. We're still getting signs that this market is now wanting to continue heading higher, and it hasn't. This was the most bearish of the bunch in the run up to December. It's now looking quite nice and bullish, confirmed uptrend there on the weekly time frame as well, which is very significant, and those monthly candles looking really nice and bullish. So most of those leaning towards the upside, which also implies a weaker US dollar. Let's see how that turns out this evening with the FOMC, or at least how the market reacts to that. And then finally for today, looking at the equities in focus, and starting off with Apple. So just looking to see how the earnings report impacted the trade. This is on the daily. Really no real shift there, and overall they're still looking quite weak, or at least unenthusiastic. And then comparing that to Amazon, which has been the most bullish of the bunch, tending to be a real winner, I should say, trending to be a real winner. This is now broken through support, so a little bit of a head and shoulders pattern here, just implying if it completes that particular shape, it's going to head down lower towards 1540 and 1500. So that actually not looking as enthusiastic as it was, and going on to Netflix. And so most of this actually now having lost the kind of bullish enthusiasm that it had, it's now sort of giving it back. Alternatively, taking a bit of a breather before it consolidates and then breaks up higher. Just noticing that Netflix is now sort of stalling a potential swing high here. We'll see if we break the low. If we head down, that's fine. If we end up getting a deeper retracement, but just noting we had a really strong bullish streak, gone back into indecision now, and the expectation is, at least initially, that 2019 has that potential to be a little bit more turbulent or volatile, like in the same way that 2018 was. We might still see that happen. Keeping an eye on that. For the moment, still anticipating a bit of a bullish recovery on most of these, and it's pretty much the same across the board. Most of these charts haven't really changed much, except of course BP is still not able to get through its resistance level. But so anticipating either a consolidation, and at some point, if we do get that weaker US dollar, we should see a bit of a boost here as well, and see a bit more bullishness return. So on that note, ladies and gents, have a fantastic day. If it's trending, I'll be there.
Just a reminder to hit the subscribe button. If you want to stay abreast of what's happening in the market, I'll be producing and bringing you the latest in the markets every morning in a freshly produced video.